Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. We are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. A lot to dive into. Doug Pederson and his press conference, and more frustration when it comes to this head coach and this football team. I can't stop thinking about them, and it makes me miserable. Here's why. I know this team sucks. I know that this team is not going to be good. I know that they will not give me a good time on Sundays. So there's no reason for me to feel the way that I do, but I can't help it. I naturally get this pissed off, even though I am accepting that it's going to happen. When it's Sunday, okay, and it's 1 o'clock, or it's a Thursday 8:30, or a Monday 8:30, whatever time it is that the Eagles kick off, I am fully aware of the ugly, sloppy, horrendous, horrific football that I am about to witness for 4 hours. I know that it's incoming, yet still, I get this upset. It shouldn't happen, but that's why we are the fan base that we are. We have this emotional tie, this passion, and I can't get rid of it. But I want to dive into Doug Pederson and some of the comments he had. Chris Long had comments as well about this sloppy situation. We have anytime hotline calls to dive into, so we have a lot on the table today. Let's start with Doug Pederson and his press conference, and the offensive line had some head-scratching results, if you will. When questions were asked about the offensive line, you had weird comments made by Doug Pederson. So we'll start with Opeta, who somehow just magically beat out Nate Herbig when it comes to a spot. When Doug was asked about the situation, it was almost as if he's saying, well, Opeta is outplaying Herbig. Opeta stinks. He's a really bad player on this offensive line. He's one of the reasons why Carson Wentz continues to get hit every single damn week. In what world did Nate Herbig go from someone that was pretty damn solid and he was intriguing, no doubt about it? How does he go from that position and at that point of the depth chart to not playing at all and Opeta playing over him? This is stupid. The only thing that comes to mind is what we saw out of Matt Pryor, where Matt Pryor last year, he played a playoff game at right guard heading into this season. We thought he would be reliable, and he was on the bottom of the depth chart. We questioned what happened. This guy, now we see him this year, he fell off the face of the earth. He can't play at all. But did that happen to Nate Herbig out of nowhere this season? Remember, a couple games back, he had that weird finger injury that kept him out. I'm questioning if there was really anything with the finger or what. This is absurd. Not only that, Jason Peters is your left tackle moving forward. Why is this happening? Why? What he displayed in that football game is no bueno. It's not good. You can't allow that to continue to be your left tackle play. And I question, does he have final say? We know that Jason Peters and Jeffrey Lurie have a very tight connection. Is Jeffrey Lurie pulling the strings? And that is a perfect segue into this quarterback play. I mentioned Jason Peters can't play that way. Here's reality. Carson Wentz can't either. And I said this yesterday, I am willing to do whatever at this point. Unfortunately, I feel they are failing Carson Wentz and putting him in bad spots. But there's no way that you can get out of it if you're Wentz. The only way is to play better football and to flip him off, and he's not doing that right now. So I feel bad for him, but here's reality. This organization put you in a tough spot. Go have fun, Carson. Good luck, buddy. Sucks to see. But I'm willing to do anything at this point. And I know Doug Pederson would change the offense a bit. It wouldn't be the same thing if Jalen Hurts goes out there. No way. He'll cater the offense to what suits him best. It's wild, really, that we are in this spot. Doug Pederson is clueless. But with the benching conversation, does Jeffrey Lurie have the final say as well? Is there a reason why that we are not seeing any sort of benching late in the game? The game's pretty much over. There's a handful of minutes left. Why not go to the backup? Why not make a statement to Carson Wentz? I feel that this word is so overused because of everything that happened with the 76ers last season, Josh Richardson, but accountability is big at times in sports, and I just feel they need to show Carson, you can't be doing this, dude. You can't miss wide open throws. You can't not throw the football. There's plenty of times where the play design is there. It might not be the best play in the world, but there are options off of the play, and Carson Wentz is not firing. He is not willing to throw his receivers or tight ends open. He's waiting at this point for them to become open, and that's a problem because they are not winning their routes. They are not winning their one-on-one battles at the line of scrimmage right from the start, so you're put in this really bad spot. He's either not firing, he's not seeing the field, he's missing wide open guys. So from that point, from this point moving forward, you can't watch Carson Wentz fail every single week, and especially when the head coach isn't changing anything to put him in a better spot. What are you supposed to do? Well, you got to hold him accountable. And since that's not happening, and I keep seeing Jason Peters play, is it fair to question who has the final say? We just witnessed a Sixers front office and ownership group that screwed everything up. Now, they acknowledge that. They went out and got Daryl Morey. They made some changes. So that's not the case right now when you're seeing success, may I add. At least to this point, we saw some pretty aggressive moves and moves that made sense from a roster standpoint. So, yes, Daryl Morey has put his fingerprints on the organization, and it looks like they're trending in the right direction. With the Philadelphia Eagles, if there's that much dysfunction happening up top, I don't have faith at all that they find a way to get out of this. And I'm not even saying specifically for this back stretch because I think that they're gone anyway. They're lost. They're done. They have no clue what's happening in their brains of theirs, and that's not winning football. I'm talking longer term, though. What do you have? So Chris Long had some interesting statements about Carson Wentz right now. They just paid Wentz in 2019. After the game, people are asking, Doug, are you going to bench him? Doug says he doesn't bench him because it would be the wrong move for the football team. It would signal something. It would send a clear message that this thing is over. Now, I disagree completely. What you're telling the football team now is you're allowed to play bad. And you're doing it with Jason Peters, too. If you're going to bench Wentz, you have to bench Jason Peters. If you're going to bench Jason Peters, you have to bench Carson Wentz. And I do feel like there is some reason that both of those are not happening. And it starts up top. That is what I truly believe, that there is so much dysfunction happening with ownership that you are seeing it snowball into the product on the field. I've seen it happen way too many times when it comes to professional sports. When you have things occurring up top, it will display on the court. You will see the dominoes fall at some point, and that is happening as we speak. I think, for one, Doug's acknowledging that Hurts doesn't necessarily look any better, and that is very true. I feel that this organization is confused on what Jalen Hurts is even at this point. Originally, I think they drafted him to eventually take over due to these obnoxious moves that they had made, but from the surface, did they draft a gadget player, a Taysom Hill type player? I feel deep down this is their end goal. Get Carson Wentz out. They don't believe in him, so draft a second-round quarterback. They want to sell it to the public, though, that, hey, we got this gadget piece, this backup quarterback. At the worst, we got a backup quarterback that isn't making a lot of money due to being on that rookie contract. At this point, I don't think they even know what to do with him. They don't know what his role was supposed to be, and that is a major problem. That's a big-time issue. This organization is whacked. This franchise is lost. But more importantly, to finish this quote here, so I think, for one, Doug's acknowledging that Hurts doesn't necessarily look any better. But more importantly, Jeffrey Lurie loves Carson. And I'm not saying whether he's right or wrong, but the owner likes the quarterback. And I think Doug likes the quarterback too. I don't know what Doug thinks. If Doug plays a favorite with Carson, I don't know. If Jim Schwartz likes Carson, I don't know. If Howie likes Carson at this juncture, I don't talk to these people, okay? But the owner likes Carson. So someone who's been involved is clearly saying and being vocal about the relationship between the quarterback and the owner. And right now, if I'm the owner, I'm looking down and saying, what happened to my MVP, right? Because he was on an MVP track in 2017. He hasn't looked the same. If it's just injury, it's just injury. But you also just paid him in 2019, a year and a half ago. You broke him off to be the quarterback of the future. And now you can't get anything out of him? You see what I'm saying? Carson is absolutely to blame for his mistakes. He needs to fix them. He needs to be smarter with the football. He needs to be less stubborn. He knows that, I think, until he makes these mistakes. Until something clicks. Excuse me. He knows that, I think, until he makes these mistakes, until something clicks. Be more decisive. But something's going on, whether it's schematic, physical, or it's just the personnel, where it's a train wreck. You just paid him a year ago. So either acknowledge that you made a huge mistake or that you're not getting everything you're getting out of this quarterback. So pretty big quote, but I think that it is powerful and there is a message involved. This franchise has no clue what they want to do. And that's the concern. You have no idea as a fan what they're doing. Where are they headed? Are they going up? Are they going down? Are they staying neutral? Where is the future of this team? You have no clue the status of the quarterback or the head coach. You have no clue the status of the defensive coordinator, the GM. You have no clue the status of the second-round backup quarterback that you selected. Now, ultimately, I feel Howie Roseman's okay. I feel Doug Pederson is going to be okay. But clearly, there are a ton of question marks involved in the franchise right now. And it's showing. It's showing. And I was so out on the Sixers until they fixed that. Well, right now, I'm trending in that direction when it comes to the Birds. And I think about Doug Pederson, and I can't stop playing in my head. After the game last night, he was asked a question about the timeout at the end of the half. When Josh Sweat got that big-time sack, he didn't call his timeouts to get the football back. Horrible message to the team. I'm giving up type message to the team. This is Big Balls Doug. He is accustomed to wanting the ball back, trying to get a field goal. You get the ball back at half too, may I add. So that adds value to trying to get the football back before the half, getting some amount of points on the board, and then from there, trying to sneak in more. It wasn't like it was a big-time blowout at this point, and he couldn't remember the play. He couldn't remember the situation. What type of good head coach can't remember that big-time play? That is a head coach who cannot think on his feet. That is now the 3,000th example of Doug Pederson messing up in-game because he is not properly understanding and digesting the information when the clock is ticking. He claimed to Jeff McClain at the time, come back to me tomorrow, I'll have the answer for you. I don't want the answer the day after. I don't want to know your thought process the day after. You need to know in the moment. It's like what you did against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's like what happened with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Nate Gary on Claypool. There's a million examples of Doug Pederson the day after during the presser giving the right information when he did the wrong move at the time. The only time that really matters, Douglas, is during that time. I don't care about afterwards on the radio, on Twitter. I don't care. I care about Sundays at 1 o'clock. I care about Sundays on the field. And you're not getting that. And how about all these coaches, all these assistant coaches? What the hell have they done? Now, I saw something interesting because Rich Gangarello obviously came from the Denver Broncos. And the resemblance of the Rich Gangarello game plan for Drew Lock was in play. Rolling out of the pocket, getting him to the right side of the field. The boot to the right tackle has become a staple inside the red zone for the Broncos. So this is something similar to what Rich Gangarello did in Denver. You don't see it at all in this Eagles offense. Nothing. Nothing that even resembles. Actually, you have the head coach saying, I need to do a better job at getting him rolling out of the pocket. Dog, you said that last week. Dog, we say that every week. We say that for the last 3 years we've said that. So come on. Again, you're saying it to the media? Oh, I got to do a better job calling it. He did go down the road of sometimes it's a play call, and then Carson Wentz is audibling out of that and making it a run play. So you're saying now that you already don't run the ball enough. One of the reasons why you run it to the way that you do, to the number that you do, is because Carson is audibling out of more runs. Or, excuse me, he's audibling out of more passing plays to make it a run. That's not a good look for your run game calling. But there is something to be said about Carson Wentz at the line of scrimmage when it comes to changing plays, audibling out of plays. He's having a tough time reading the defense. He's having a tough time reading the field as a whole. He has flaws that he needs to figure out himself. As much as I rip Doug Pederson to shreds, there's plenty of things that Carson Wentz needs to look into the mirror and go, dude, you gotta be better. You have to perform better. Go back to having fun. Just go back to having fun, because it seems he's putting way too much pressure on himself where he needs to be this hero and he's trying to wear the cape. Just go out and enjoy football for what it is. And the more that you do that, the more that you clear your mind, you'll probably play better. But instead, he's got the pressure on him. He's in his own head. He's trying to do everything. And when your coach, by the way, doesn't put you in the best position to succeed, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's crazy. It really is. You know what else is crazy, by the way? The fact that Darby's the 5th-ranked cornerback in the NFL. The fact that Sidney Jones, Rasul Douglas, they're all playing and competing in other spots, and they're doing it well. Nelson Aguilar. If it's only 1 or 2 cases, okay. When it starts to become a handful and more, plus some, I think it's fair to question what the hell is going on. And look, I'm a Schwartz guy. I think he gets blasted way too much. There's always a handful of games a year that you can look at Jim Schwartz and say, you should have been better. But it's funny. He was pretty electric last game, for the most part. I mean, you stop Nick Chubb, you stop Kareem Hunt in that first half. There's only so much you can do because your personnel isn't great. But from a game plan standpoint, see, this is my example of a game plan not being bad, but you still lose. And it still doesn't work to perfection. But heading into the game, philosophy-wise, Jim Schwartz had a blueprint that made a lot of sense, and it countered what the Cleveland Browns do. At some point, though, when Avonte Maddox is on the opposite side of Slay, you're screwed. When you had bad talent, good luck. But how to stop the Browns, they did it for as long as they possibly could before their true colors showed. But 3 of these players that I mentioned, Ronald Darby, Sidney Jones, Rasul Douglas, it is happening on the defensive side of the ball, and they are playing elsewhere at a high clip. Now, it's very known that his scheme is tough for corners. It is. It's a tough scheme for corners. But it's something that I have in the back of my mind as I continue to watch these players thrive. All right, let's get to the Anytime Hotline. Awesome phone calls yesterday on the pod, on the day after, the morning after podcast. And then today we're going to continue because it was the hottest the Anytime Hotline has ever been. So I feel, since you guys are willing to call, leave your thoughts, I am very willing to continue to respond. But first, I want to tell you about my friends at DraftKings. DraftKings has brought their expertise to legal sports betting. It's a legitimate sports book based right here in the U.S., so you can rest assured that your funds are totally secure. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdraw at your convenience. Listen to this deal. It's outrageous. All new users have a chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Download the app and sign up using promo code BRODES, BRODES. Check out all that they have to offer, including player props, live betting, and so much more. If sportsbooks are not yet available in your state, don't forget about the DraftKings Fantasy app, which offers millions of dollars in total prizes every single week. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's do this.
Hey, Brodes. Took another tough one today. It was rough. And before everybody jumped down Carson's neck, or anything else like the rest of this year. I want to put more emphasis on Doug because Doug came out about him being upset from last week, talking about how we killed ourselves, shot ourselves in the foot with penalties and other things. So to me, it has to be coaching is the biggest issue. Because you're the one, Doug, you're the one that said that you want to get Carson rolled out more out the pocket. You want to run the ball more. You want to limit these tough throws that Carson has to make. But we're still doing the same things every Sunday. So before we put all the blame and all the eggs on Carson Wentz, which he does need to play better, he does, maybe we need to look at coaching and how vanilla it has been.
I couldn't agree with you more. I feel the same exact way. Carson Wentz has been abysmal. And there's plenty of plays where I will say Doug Pederson's play call, it has players open, and Carson Wentz is not delivering the football. That is definitely an issue, and this quarterback's play is embarrassing, quite frankly. And I know that he's being put in these tough spots, and that is a factor. There's so many factors. This offensive line can't keep him upright. He is getting hit way too much, and he's getting sacked at an all-time high. These weapons cannot get open enough. There are times, but they are clearly struggling at the line of scrimmage, which plays a role. The running back is fumbling, right? I mean, there's just so many layers to this. Carson Wentz has not been good enough, point blank. It's also fair to say that you have a quarterback that is so good in certain areas. And when your head coach is not putting him in those spots, even when your quarterback is playing the worst ever, that's an issue. This is when you would do it most. That's why I'm saying that. Even when he's playing the worst ever, that's when you would think, okay, he clearly needs to get back on the right foot. He clearly needs to be more comfortable. I might have to coddle him a bit here. So let's allow him to operate where he feels best. And the fact that this coaching staff doesn't do it, it's crazy. And we talk about all of these new voices that are now in the locker room. And oh, by the way, there were reports that Jeffrey Lurie was the one that got rid of Mike Groh as soon as Carson Wentz stated to the media, yeah, Mike Groh's coming back. Boom, Jeffrey Lurie had his fingerprints in there. And then the front office hired all these coaches on top of Doug Pederson. So how about that for looking and dissecting at the ownership and trying to get a vibe and a general sense of what's happening inside this entire franchise? Well, here's an added topic to what we spoke about earlier. When it comes to all these new voices and these coaches, did Doug really hire those guys? He seemed pretty vocal about wanting Mike Groh to stay here, and then before you knew it, boom, everyone was gone, and here's a bunch of new guys. But I bring that up because what are they doing? What are their jobs? Yeah, they have these titles. Passing game coordinator, assistant run game coordinator. Doug is so damn stubborn, you don't see a damn thing that they do. Rich Gangarello, what he did before is roll everyone to the right. Guess what? There's no way in hell that Rich Gangarello's voice is being heard because you don't see it a lick. You don't see it at all. It's unbelievable.
Hey, Brodes. Gabe here from South Jersey. Dude, this team fucking sucks. Okay? Fire everybody. Every single person. Get rid of Carson Wentz. Bring back Nick Foles somehow. I don't care. Get rid of fucking Doug Pederson. He's trash. Get rid of everybody. Start from scratch. I'm so tired of this fucking team. Dude, my Sunday was going great, and then the Eagles just messed it all up, man. And
to be fair, you should have realized that it was going to be that way heading into Sunday. Now, I said from the jump, I know it's going to happen, yet it still irritates me, so I'm being a hypocrite right now. I get it, I do. But the whole get rid of everyone, fired this guy, fired that guy, fired this guy, get a new quarterback, do this, do that. I do get it. Like, I get it. I just feel that's very emotional. You need change. That is clear as day. But the whole scream to get rid of everybody, the reason why I have a problem with that is, and no offense to this caller, but I do feel the person that wants to get rid of everybody is the same person that wants Brett Brown fired, and the same person that wants Gabe Kapler fired, and the same person that wants Joe Girardi fired, and the same person that wants the Flyers to trade Claude Giroux, and the same. You get my point? It's like, oh, get rid of everyone because they're not winning right now. Like, that type of reaction is a little obnoxious, in my opinion. There needs to be change here. Does that mean the whole entire regime gets canned and they start brand new and fresh as hell? I just don't see that happening. I just don't see a way where they get rid of everybody involved. I just don't. I'd be shocked, absolutely stunned, if that was the case. But once again, I can see why you feel that way. I just don't see it being realistic.
Yeah, Brodes, what's up? Just after watching this game, man, it just seems like a total re-examination of the entire structure of this organization from inside and out. The rosters, I mean, some of the offensive consultants, quote-unquote, that Doug has, just obviously is not helping with the play calling. Future replacements for players, and a new QB coach for sure, because I don't know what Press Taylor's doing with Carson, but just a total overhaul, both inside and out, with personnel and players, in my opinion. This is bad.
Interesting you bring that up right after the last caller. So, the more and more I think about it, it's not like I would be devastated if they went down that avenue and they were like, okay, let's clean it up. I do feel that there is something happening inside where that Super Bowl was the worst thing for this regime. Everyone feels like they have a big ball sack. Everybody feels like they are the greatest. They feel like they are so entitled and that they deserve all this power and they deserve all of this respect. And I feel because it went down the way that it did, now there's so much happening inside, and there's a lot of clash happening because everybody feels more entitled and buff and big-chested due to the Super Bowl. And maybe the only way to fix that is to clean house. I just feel there's two different ways of getting that message across. Oh, get rid of everyone. Trade Ben Simmons. Trade Embiid. Fire Brett Brown. Fire everyone. Fire Howie. That, and the way that I explained it, I feel are two different messages, even with the same result being in place, if that makes sense. So I feel negative towards the guy. That's just me. But maybe I'm being an ass. I tend to do that sometimes. No doubt about it.
Man, I just got done with that trash Eagles game, and I'm just disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm not furious. I'm just disappointed in Doug, Carson, everybody. It's really a mess, and I don't even know what else to say. Just at least the Sixers start in about a month from now.
That's literally a loss for words. I'm calling in. I don't like this team. I hate this team. I'm so disappointed in this team. I got nothing else for you. I love it, though. I mean, that's how we feel right after the game's over. Speechless. Just speechless. Stunned. Confused. Dazed. I get going with the disappointed approach, though. You never want to hear that from the parents. You never do. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. It's the worst. I'd rather be mad. That's what everybody says. I feel, though, because I could just go back over my last handful of Eagles podcasts, right? There is rage coming out. I get to another level. I'm just screaming at this point. And it's consistent. And it's every time I see Doug Pederson, and it's every time I hear him speak. It's after every Sunday. It's during every media press conference, you name it. So, I don't know if personally I'm with you. I feel I'm more than just disappointed. I'm outraged. I'm outraged that this head coach doesn't know how to properly put together a game plan. I'm disgusted that this head coach sees that there is a clear way that this quarterback can get back on track by going to his strengths, And he's not doing it. He's unwilling. And he's unwilling to run the football. And he's unwilling to adapt. So damn stubborn. And there's plenty of reports saying that, you know what, Carson Wentz might be stubborn. And there may be some truth to that he's not listening either. But I know for a fact that this coach is not putting a game plan around him. And would he be as stubborn if the head coach simply says, Carson, you're good at this, and you're having some rough moments? I got you. Trust me. I'll do what you do great. But instead, I gave him credit for 2 times. Jeff McClain is reporting that it only happened once. One time. I remember 2. I'm giving you 2, Doug. To me, that's a fireable offense, really. Like if I'm an owner and I see and everybody sees, and we've been screaming about it for years now, it's not just now, 3 years now, that he deserves to be on the run more, and the coach isn't doing it, I call him in and go, Doug, what do you not see? Why are you not adapting? I saw the linebackers for the Broncos, not for the Broncos. I got that Scangarello tweet brought into my head. I saw the linebackers of the Browns make adjustments in the second half, and Doug was asked about that. You know what he said? He was asked about, pretty much Miles Sanders mentioned after the game, that when it comes to that run game and the way that they were defending, they brought their linebackers more downhill. So he was asked about that. The comment was brought up, what Miles Sanders said, and the linebackers were discussed about how they decided to go more downhill. You know what Doug's response was? Yeah, they decided to go more downhill with the linebackers. Yeah, thanks a lot. See, that's the snarkiness that I'm done with. You think you're better than everyone else. How many times has he brought up throughout his coaching career here? Oh, did you play in the NFL? This attitude, it's unprofessional. And it shows me that this guy is lost. That's what it shows me.
Another fun-filled Sunday watching football. Not. I mean, what else is left to say? I mean, this team sucks inside and out, up and down. And watching this team week after week is truly becoming death by paper cuts. It's a slow, long, painful process. And unfortunately, as an Eagle fan, I don't know when and if it's getting any better. I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. And another thing I don't see is any kind of wins anytime soon. Somebody please tell me where the next win's on the schedule.
There are none. Now, it's the NFL, and you'll see teams that shouldn't win that end up winning. So, okay, maybe. But when you look at it right now, no one. Death by paper cuts? I think you're in the right area. It's painful. It's so bad. It's ruining my fun for the league. You have a Monday night game on. Rams, Buccaneers, Tom Brady, Goff. I like this Rams team. They're the most complete team in that NFC West. You have Arizona. You have Seattle. You have really good teams in that division, without a doubt. It's arguably the best division in football, though the AFC North is very strong as well, with Pittsburgh, Baltimore, although they're falling off a bit, and Cleveland, who people aren't really believing in, even though their record is pretty respectful. Very similar to what happened with the Green Bay Packers last year. May I just throw that in there. But I'm watching these games. I'm watching Tom Brady. I'm watching Sean McVay. The Eagles took football life out of me. And I'm pissed that I'm allowing it to happen. I'm acknowledging that that's a flaw. But it's killing me. I can't enjoy football. And with this college football season being a nightmare that it is, postponements every single damn week, the Big Ten starting so late, what the hell is going to happen with the college football playoff, Dabo Swinney getting pissed off in Florida State, I can't even get the right vibe on college football. So where am I right now? I'm lost. I'm like Doug Pederson and Carson Wentz. I'm lost mentally. And I'm waiting for the 76ers to start their season. That's what I'm doing.
I was gonna come on here, Mike, but I ain't even gonna do it, man. It's because it's the same stuff every weekend. You know, I'm gonna try not to curse too much, but oh my God, man, Doug is horrible. His play calling sucks. every time Miles Sanders has 40-plus rush, if he touches the ball 40 times and he has 60 to 70, 80 yards, he takes the ball out of his hands. Carson Wentz, he stinks. He's horrible. His decision-making is horrible. His instincts is horrible. He throws the ball behind people. Like, it's the same thing every week. They got to fire Howard. Fire Howie. Fire Doug. Fire Schwartz. And bench Wentz. I'm over it now. I'm over it. They got to blow this whole thing up. I'm over it.
So similar to a call we had before of just get rid of everyone and they need to make this big change. And once again, I do feel like it's different based off of the way that it's said, even though it's the same end goal. I am clearly very disappointed in what I saw out of Doug Pederson this year to this point and Carson Wentz. I'm okay with benching him, though. In terms of the firing and all that, we'll know more information, or at least we can speculate more as we see the season play out. But if it continues to go down this road, I anticipate some sort of major change happening, and I really hope it's more than just Jim Schwartz, because that's not what is really needed. If you keep Jim Schwartz and get a new head coach or get a new offensive coordinator or move something in the offense, that's more of the issue than the defense. And I'll tell you what, we get on Howie all the time, right? This Javon Hargrave signing blows. This guy, he's nothing. He was someone in Pittsburgh. He's nothing here. I'd rather have Malik Jackson. I'd rather have Vinny Curry inside. Seriously, that's how I feel about what Javon Hargrave has brought to the table with that type of money tied to his name. It's a big-time issue, spending that much money. Drafting Derek Barnett, that's something that isn't discussed enough. He's so damn average. He's just your average D-end at best. So with Schwartz, to me, it's more a personnel issue and roster construction issue over Schwartzy. If it goes down this way and it continues to trend in this direction, major change is needed, and I don't think it's enough that it's just Schwartzy. So what happens? That conversation, like I said, it'll happen naturally as you gain more knowledge of how this season plays out. But in terms of bench and Wentz, it does need to happen. I don't know why it's as powerful of a message as some may think. As if just because you sit him for a series or two or three, that means he's done forever. It's not the case. It's more like, yo, dude, you can't play this way. I told you 10,000 times. You're not listening. Now, Doug's not helping with the play calls, but here's reality. That doesn't matter. Doug should be like, yo, stop. And when he doesn't, fine, sit your ass down. Now, here's the alternative. Jalen Hurts. They can't even get a package together for this guy. So who's to say that he's ready? Is it fair to throw Jalen Hurts into the fire if he's not ready? Could you imagine Jalen Hurts doing a 3-step drop, a 5-step drop, a 7-step drop, and think that he's going to go through all of his progressions at the NFL level? There's clearly a reason why he's not operating at a clip right now that we're satisfied with. They're seeing something that we're not, that says, hold on a second, it might not be the best idea to throw this guy right into Monday Night Football against Seattle and Russell Wilson, even though their defense is flawed. I can't see a way where Hurts does that. Now, you can say, look, if he reads his first progression, it's not there, and he takes off with his feet, could he do better than Wentz? And that's why I said, at this point, I'm open to anything. Whatever's on the table, fine, whatever. It's been that bad. If you want to do it, I can support it. If you don't want to do it, I question it. I do. At some point, it's got to be recognized that this play can't continue to happen. I don't care about how much he gets paid or how much the owner loves him. Unless the owner has final say. Then you have another problem.
Brodes, MG, listen, full disclaimer here. I'm a Giants fan. I'm calling in. I did watch the game. We're on a bye week this week. I wanted to tune in. And my God, is that team bad. I know we're all bad, but I look at two guys. I know Carson Wentz is playing terrible. I mean, that's evident. But what's Doug Peterson doing? What's Howie Roseman doing? I mean, seeing DK Metcalf and the other receiver they could have got, Justin Jefferson, Yeah, I mean, Howie has to go. Doug has to go. Figure it out. Because, my God, that's bad. And what are you doing still playing Jason fucking Peters? Sorry, Josh, for you have to mute that out. But
Josh is our producer at 97.3. He normally does all the beeping. That play, or that call, wanted to be played on 97.3 ESPN. So that's why he went down that type of comment. But as much as I think Howie sucks at drafting and he's missed way too much recently, he does have a skill set with the money that's valuable. As much as I want to smack Doug Pederson 15,000 times in the jaw, I also think that he has a leadership quality that not everyone has, and it's not really a teachable thing. So if you get someone in here who can do the drafting, why Howie does the money side of things, and if you get an offensive coordinator in here that brings X's and O's and scheme and can play call while Doug Pederson brings that leadership quality, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody needs to be canned, but that's still a major philosophy change from the franchise that I can support. Because while they are irritating as hell, it's not like they bring zero to the table. They still do bring something to the table, but right now it's being questioned because of the way the football team is playing, and that is okay. That is okay, but they still have value. It's not necessarily get rid of everyone, but can you find ways to maybe implement something new while keeping their strengths? I'm just looking at everything. I said everything is on the table. So that means wiping clean is on the table. That means keeping them but hiring something new to make the changes on the table. I don't think what's on the table, though, is staying put. Something has to change. Whether that's the quarterback being benched, giving Hurts a shot, whatever. I did think of a pretty interesting hypothetical, though. Imagine if Hurts starts, he's your starter, next season, gives you 13 games, gets injured, Wentz slips in, wins the Super Bowl, bang. Loved statue. Big Dick Wentz. Just throwing hypotheticals out there. Before I let you go, let's hear a word from my sponsor, Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, they are home to your solar experts in residential and commercial projects. They are dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly by using high-quality materials and trained professionals to get the job done right. They even take care of all the permitting and fees right there in the office. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They also provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, and more. So check out their information. It's all down below. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.